Find the exact value of the cotangent of sine inverse of negative 1/2. All right, so this one has a lot going on here, okay? But first thing to remember is that this is an inverse trig function, right? That this is the inner function and this is the outer function, the cotangent. Okay, remember sine inverse of negative 1/2 is equal to some angle. Okay, actually this angle right here. So really what we're finding is the cotangent of theta. But theta is given by this. The sine of theta is equal to negative 1/2. Okay. So there's a couple ways to do this, right? Remember, this is the outer function. Okay, this is the inner function here. Okay, there's a couple ways to do this. Now, it turns out that negative 1/2 is on the unit circle, so we can sort of get this one, okay? But no, in general, because it is negative as well, right? We know that we only deal with sine inverse in either the first or the fourth quadrant, but because it's negative, okay, we know that, well, that the y coordinate here, right, should be negative. Okay, so this point, whatever it is, I don't know what it is, right? But we know that the sine value is negative 1/2. Okay, so we can actually use the Pythagorean theorem to get this x coordinate, right? We can set x squared plus negative 1/2 squared equal to 1. And we should be able to get this coordinate here. But also, if you look at the unit circle, we can see, right, that when the y value is negative 1/2, we actually know what that x coordinate is. Okay, remember that this length here is 1, right? So this is actually a point on the unit circle. Okay, we know that this value here is going to be radical 3 over 2. Okay, so we can write this as radical 3 over 2 comma negative 1/2. Once again, if you didn't know that, we could have used Pythagorean theorem, x squared plus negative 1/2 squared is equal to 1, and we could have solved this to get that x is radical 3 over 2. Okay. So, remember, this is the angle in question here, right? Okay, using this particular triangle with these particular coordinates, we want to find the cotangent of this angle here. Okay. Now, remember, cotangent, using SOHCAHTOA, right, that would be the adjacent side divided by the opposite side in relation to this angle right here, right? In relation to this angle right there. Okay, so the adjacent side will be this and the opposite side will be this. Okay. Another way to do that, if we're on the unit circle, is we can do the x over the y, which is sort of the same thing, right? Okay, so there are a couple approaches that we can use here. Okay, so in this case, if we want to use SOHCAHTOA, the cotangent is the adjacent side, which is rad 3 over 2, divided by the opposite side, which in this case is negative 1/2. Of course, we never divide by fractions. We always multiply by the reciprocal. So it actually turns out the 2's do cancel out. So we end up with negative radical 3.